Zombie apocalypse.
Welcome to this episode of the Poppa B Show. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about what took place last night. Yeah, you guessed it, the presidential debate. Also want to touch a little bit on COVID-19. As y'all may or may not know, I had the COVID scare from my last episode. I did feel sick a little bit all the way through the week, but it wasn't actually COVID. The test came back negative. I'm thankful for that because I don't wish this upon anybody, especially family, friends. You know, that stuff is real. So always protect yourself, protect your loved ones, put the mask on, do what you got to do, wash your hands. I'm just glad that the test came back negative. And I also want to talk a little bit about something that hits close home for me. I get these glasses in my damn face, right? I live with ulcerative colitis, and I also have lupus. But there is an organization out there that I want you to think about. It's Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. It's a nonprofit organization dedicated to finding a cure. Like me, I live with it. I've lived with it for years. I go get treatments every 8 weeks. And, of course, I wear this with pride. Cure for IBD. Listen, do your part. I'm going to put the link down the bottom. If you know somebody that lives with it, this would help a lot. Click the link, donate. I can't say any more than that. I mean, I did a fundraiser years ago. There's millions of kids that live with this disease. There's no cure for it. I know there's a lot of ugly diseases out there, especially look at what we got going on with pandemic COVID-19 in this time and age. But there's still a lot of other things out there that exist that are killing people, that are making kids suffer with a disease that just doesn't go away. So find it in your heart. Click the link I'm going to put down below. As always, this takes time. So listen, smash the like button, hit subscribe, share it, do what you got to do. Poppa B loves doing this. It's a hobby. I'd like to get my fan base up there a little bit more, and I can't do it without you. I know I was supposed to air a show on Monday. There's a lot of things that were going on. Of course, what I had going on with the COVID-19 scare. But with that being said, let me stop this and let me get into tonight's episode. So if you caught the presidential debate last night, what the fuck? You can't get that time back, can you? That's fucking gone. I mean, gone. That was different. You know, we know that Trump does his thing, and that is just Trump's fashion. But you know what? Even after last night's debate, I still stand behind him and what he's done. I stood behind Obama. I am Republican. However, once a commander-in-chief is in place, once POTUS is done, no matter who it is, even if it's Joe, you're going to have to stand behind what the governing process is in place. You got to stand behind whoever's commander-in-chief. You've just then got to take a proactive approach to how do I get what is concerned to me into government, into bill, into law. There's certain things we can do as Americans that can actually get things to a place where it needs to be, no matter who is POTUS at the time. But none of that shit matters right now because I have to talk about this fucking debate. What the actual fuck? Let's not start with Chris Wallace. Definitely, decades as a Democrat. So we know where he sat. And we know why he was probably a little more pushy with Trump than maybe if it was a Republican person that was sitting there mediating it. However, we will never know at this point in time. So last night's a wash. Trump, I wish you were a little less aggressive because Joe got you. He got the right advice and he rolled with it. I don't care if he was trying to plead to the American people and talk directly to the camera. No matter what Joe says, he has to be told 47 times for every 1 year that he's been in government. So plead to the people, do what you want to do. Doesn't matter. I still support Trump. Now, on to other things. So let's just say this one, the taxes. He only paid $750 in taxes for 2016, 2017. False, not fact. So if you look at the story that was written in the New York Times, it basically will go on to say, so the leading paragraph or the leading headline is Trump only pays $750 in taxes. But you really got to get down to the deep part of the story where it actually tells you that he paid, I believe it was $1 million. No, I don't believe. I know he paid $1 million in taxes in 2016 and $4.2 million in 2017. Fact checked it. So you got to look at how these debates take place. I mean, it's sad, kind of, sort of, in a sense of things, because it is basically trying to damage someone's credibility based on a lot of time not fact checking, or just to make it look ugly, the ugly truth. Even though there's some truth to it, it's the ugly truth. It plays to whatever party is trying to get that point across to make the other person look bad. And this is shitty politics. I mean, it's the schmear campaign. Both sides do it. We know they both do it. It's just part of politics. And that's the ugly part of politics I don't like. And that's fact. So let's go on a little bit more, and let's talk about the elephant in the room. That a lot of what the debate was about was circle back to COVID-19. And Joe was treating that as if it was POTUS's fault. Like COVID-19 was absolutely and unequivocally POTUS's fault. Really? I'm looking at the camera. That's an act of God. If it wasn't manufactured in Wuhan, then let's call it a pandemic, and it's an act of God, not an act of Trump. Get the fuck out of here. Shut the fuck up, in your own sense of the word, right? Shut the fuck up. So we can't keep circling back as if that was Trump's problem. Like, he made that. And scientists are rallying to find a cure. And Trump supports the finding of a cure ASAP. He doesn't want the economy to shut down. He's a businessman. You can't make money off a closed economy, right? And he's a businessman, so he's thinking like a businessman for all the other people out there. And, of course, all of us as people. I mean, he's talking about, look at what's going on with alcoholism, drug dependency, what's going on with abuses and all that, because so many people are contained. They can't go out and do what they normally do. We're having an uptick in all these things because these places are shut down. It just sucks. It's human nature. It's shitty. And Trump identified that. He said, listen, we're having problems. If we keep it shut down, these things are going to keep upticking, which is true. So let's see. Joe said at one point, it is what it is, because I think Trump said it. It is what it is because you are who you are. He is president because it is what it is, and he was who he was. So he hasn't lost who he had that voted him in the first time. So it is what it is because he is who he is. And I am who I am, Joe, if that makes any sense to you. And I applaud you. I'm going to just say appalled. There it is. There's me and Joe riding that same pine, sitting at that same spot in life, even though I'm a lot younger. So I applaud you. You're cool. You were on focus, so I'm giving you credit here. And you got Trump where you wanted him. You needed him to try and do what he did, but that's what he does. And that's why we voted him in, by the way, because he's different. He doesn't canter to all these different things or be a different person just because everybody wants him to be because he's president. We voted him in just because of that. So think of that about a second. Let that soak in. He's where he is because we voted him in. And you guys have tried to create all these stories from the very get to get him out. And yes, ugly truth sometimes, like I was talking earlier, the schmear campaigns and all that, when he was going against running and all that. And then, of course, he requested Obama's birth certificate and all that. That was shitty. But that is Trump. And again, I'll get that. He is who he is. And we voted him in with that. So with that being said, let me move on. I know this show, I might be aggravating the shit out of a bunch of you. But guess what? It's my show. Don't smash the like button. Make a comment. Don't subscribe. Shut it down. Shut it off and move on. This will be over when this whole election goes through. And let's talk a little bit about mail-in voting. Trump says it's going to be a mess. And he's a businessman. He is the president. And he's right. This is going to be a mess. Yes, there's been mail-in voting going way back when. Let's even talk about what was already discovered. The ballots that were found in the trash that were military ballots that had Trump's name on it, those are thrown out. So that means those are Republican ballots that were thrown out that were supposed to go to the military. That's already telling you we have a problem. Now we also have all these votes from this company that does the ballots that got the bid in. They're sending ballots with mailing address outside to the party, different stuff inside. Not one, not two, but thousands. We already have a mistake. So this is going to cause a problem. And it's not going to be in a small scale, because as we get closer, there's going to be a lot more going out. And what Trump was saying is that it has to be solicited. Like, I asked for my ballot to be mailed to me. I don't want a random mailing because it's unsolicited. It just went out. There is my name, my ballot, hanging out there on the balance for anybody to get, unless I go to the poll. But then you have to figure out, all right, there's a mail-in ballot and I went directly to a poll. Now you've got to backpedal, and it's going to cause a headache. And this is what Trump is trying to tell you. It's going to be fucked up. And that's no bullshit. So at one point, Joe, you told everybody that you would be the president over Republicans and Democrats. Duh, if you're president, you automatically are. The commander-in-chief now is president over Republicans and Democrats. So you're just taking on the responsibility that he already has. So you don't become a non-president for either party. Trump is president for both parties, but he's only fighting people that's in government trying to overthrow him. They try to impeach him, all these different processes. So he is the president over all us people. He's only having a problem within government and all these movements that are going on because they're fueled by people that are just telling lies. Talk a little bit kind of about 47 years in government, Mr. Joe. So you're saying that you've got all these changes that you have to make. And some of them go back years. You were in an important position, vice president. You were the right-hand person to the president of the United States. You had every ability to push your agenda, your issue, what you thought needed to be fixed in America for 8 years. 8 of them, count them, 8. You spent 8 years backing a man in office. And you say now that all these things are broken and they have to be fixed. So the one focus you got is Obamacare. I hate to tell you, but Obamacare really stole a lot of money out of the pockets of the American people that got forced into carrying health care when they didn't have to as a small business owner. You fucktard. That forced people to spend thousands of dollars on healthcare that they couldn't afford as a small business owner. So who and why and what? It didn't fucking work. Now it's in place, and a lot of people will have to be uprooted and it will change, but it didn't make sense. So yes, Obamacare sucked. I would have called it something else too, because that was pretty shitty that his name is tied to that. Nobody's name should be tied to anything like that. It just should be some type of health care, alternative health care, whatever you want to freaking call it. Just don't use somebody's name. I mean, that's shitty. I hate bashing the name Obama by Obamacare, but that was shitty. It did not work for the small business owner. Whatever. Let me not even get there. So anyways, so all that time that you were in government, you could have fixed what was broke, but you didn't. So I guess you're saying that in Obama's administration, it failed. It failed the American people. So you're calling Obama a failure because you're saying that this all has to be fixed. In less than 3 years, Trump didn't break everything. He's trying to go through and do whatever he can to see things and put things into better perspective for the working class as well as the wealthy. He's the president. He's just trying to do what he can do. And if you're saying all this stuff is broken, it should have been fixed. Why wasn't it fixed, Joe? Why wasn't it fixed for the people, Joe? The American people want to know, why didn't you fix it? Where's my monitor? Is he going to cut me off? Oh, shut up? I'm a clown? You're damn right. I'm a fucking clown. I am a clown in a circus of everybody that's supporting the biggest clown up there right now. So welcome to my circus, Joe. All right, that's going to wrap it up for the Poppa B Show. Next episode, let's go with diets, fad, or fiction. I want to get a little bit about diets in there. I'm going to call a couple people that I know. And we're going to talk about the ins and outs of dieting and what works and what doesn't work. So tune in for my next episode of diets, fads, or fictions. This is Poppa B, fucking out of here.